I hear people call these old Switch games all the time, and I honestly laugh a little because a bunch of them still run circles around brand new releases. Not just on nostalgia either. I mean, real design, real polish, and that special Nintendo magic where you play for 5 minutes and instantly get why it is a classic. Alright, here are 10 Switch older games that still embarrass modern games today. Breath of the Wild is still the open world I measure everything against. In 2 minutes I can climb a cliff, set grass on fire, ride the updraft, and land on a Bokoblin camp with a metal crate I just magnet grabbed. That kind of physics playground makes every problem feel like mine, not the developer's script. The map is huge, but it never feels like chores because curiosity is the quest. Shrines are bite-sized brain teasers, weather changes your plans, and even cooking feels like experimenting. Modern games can look busier, yet they often feel stiff. This one feels alive, even on old hardware, and I still boot it up just to wander. If you missed it, go back and try solving a fight without swinging your sword once. You will see why it keeps embarrassing everybody today. Super Mario Odyssey is pure movement joy, and that is why it still makes newer platformers look awkward. Mario's jump arc, dive, roll, and cap throw snap together like a playground combo system. I can enter a kingdom, spot a weird ledge, and invent a route up there in seconds. The levels are dense, not massive, so every corner has a moon, a joke, or a tiny challenge. Cappy captures are still genius because they turn enemies into fresh mechanics without tutorials dragging on. Newer games chase bigger worlds, but Odyssey nails the feel of being Mario every single step. I replay it just for Metro Kingdom and the festival, because that moment still hits like magic. Even after I grab everything, I keep coming back to practice trick jumps, speedrun lines, and just smile at the music so much. Mario Kart 8. Deluxe is the definition of timeless, because the fun starts the second the countdown ends. The handling is easy to learn, but the drifting and mini turbo system have enough depth that I can still improve years later. A lot of modern racers look realistic, yet they forget the party vibe. Here, every item hit, shortcut, and last lap comeback creates instant stories. The course variety is wild, from classic tracks to the newer booster courses, and the music never gets old. Online is still packed, local multiplayer is still the best couch game on the system, and battle mode is actually good again. If you want one Switch game that keeps a group laughing, this is it. I love how even beginners can win with items, while veterans can chase perfect lines in time trials too. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is still the king of crossover chaos. The roster alone feels like a gaming museum where you can actually throw punches at the exhibits. But what really embarrasses newer fighters is how much there is to do. Classic mode routes, spirits, World of Light, custom rules, stage builder, and a training setup that lets competitive players grind for real. The controls are simple enough that my friends can pick a character and have fun, yet the depth is huge once you learn spacing and recovery tricks. Online is not perfect, but arenas and local sets keep it alive. No other fighting game on Switch gives me this many moods in one package. Some nights I want sweaty one-on-one matches. Other nights I just turn on items, pick a stage, and let the madness happen. Hollow Knight still feels like the gold standard for Metroidvanias on Switch. Hallownest is huge, but it is also tight, like every tunnel and shortcut was placed with purpose. The art is simple, yet the atmosphere is heavy, with quiet towns, creepy caverns, and that lonely piano vibe. Combat is clean and sharp. When I get hit, it is my fault, and that makes victories feel earned. The bosses push you to learn patterns, and the charm system lets you tweak your build without breaking the balance. Even after finishing, the extra challenges can keep you busy for a long time. A lot of newer games copy the style, but few match the confidence. I also love how the map slowly fills in, so getting lost turns into a reward. It is dark, cute, and brutal at once every time. Hades is one of those games where I start a run for 10 minutes and suddenly it is midnight. The combat feels fast and readable with weapons that all play differently, so switching builds never feels like a downgrade. What embarrasses newer roguelikes is how the story keeps moving, even when you fail. Every death gives you new dialogue, new character moments, and tiny bits of lore that make the next attempt feel meaningful. The gods' boons create fun combos, like turning a simple dash into a lightning storm, and the game is balanced so most builds can win if you play smart. The art, voice acting, and music are top tier. Even now, it is still my comfort challenge game. On Switch, handheld runs feel perfect, and the quick restart makes it easy to chase one more escape always.
A gift. I'm rich.
Celeste is proof that a tight platformer can hit harder than a big-budget spectacle. The controls are unbelievably crisp, so when I miss a jump, I know it was timing, not the game. That makes the challenge addictive, because every screen feels beatable with practice. The level design is brilliant, constantly teaching you new tricks, then remixing them into tougher setups without wasting your time. Checkpoints are generous, so frustration turns into rhythm. On top of that, the story about anxiety and pushing forward is handled with real care, not cheesy speeches. The music is pure focus fuel, especially in the later chapters. Plenty of newer platformers look fancy, but Celeste still wins on feel and heart. I recommend playing with good headphones, then trying B-side stages. They are brutal, but finishing one feels like a personal trophy. Dead Cells still scratches that action itch better than most newer roguelites. The moment you roll, slash, and cancel into a jump, you can feel how responsive it is. Runs are quick but not mindless, because the weapon pool is huge and the synergies get wild. One run, I am freezing everything with an ice bow. The next, I am melting bosses with fire stacks. The game also respects progress. Even when you die, you unlock new gear, new routes, and higher difficulty levels that change enemy behavior. That kill, die, learn, repeat loop never gets old because it keeps throwing fresh problems at you. The pixel art is gorgeous, and the soundtrack pumps you up. If you want challenge with style, this is still a monster. I love how every biome feels different, and the bosses demand real focus. Stardew Valley might look simple, but it still outplays a lot of modern cozy games on depth. I can spend a whole season just planting crops, upgrading tools, and setting up sprinklers like a little puzzle. Then the next day, I am in the mines fighting slime, or fishing for that one legendary catch. The town feels like a real community with characters who have routines, secrets, and story arcs that unfold slowly. It is also one of the best one more day games ever, because there is always a small goal to chase. Co-op farming turns it into a chill hangout, and the game keeps getting better through updates. Newer games copy the vibe, but few match the content. When I want to relax after a week, I load my farm, pet the animals, and reset my brain. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is still platforming perfection, and it surprises me how few new games hit this level of pacing. Every stage is packed with clever gimmicks, but none of them overstay their welcome. One minute you are bouncing through jungles, the next you are dodging saw blades in a factory, then you are riding a rocket barrel with your palms sweating. The controls are weighty, yet precise, and the game demands attention in a way that feels fair. The secret exits and puzzle pieces give completionists a reason to master levels, not just finish them. Co-op is great too, especially with funky mode for newer players. Lots of modern platformers feel padded, but Tropical Freeze is pure momentum from start to finish. I still replay the water world just for the music and those tricky jumps. So yeah, these games are old on paper, but when you actually play them, they still feel like the bar. If you want, tell me which one you think has aged the best, and I will do a part 2 with more Switch classics that still dunk on modern games.